Welcome to the March episode of Let's Talk Tech. If you're a regular viewer, we've been discussing streaming and setting the stage for the necessary devices you'll need, internet speed, and planning to move to streaming over the next few episodes and the past few episodes in particular. And we've also done it before in some short segments on previous shows. But today I'm going to review and show you content on a TV here in the studio as I navigate the many options. I personally have several devices that offer me the ability to stream. And I mention that because each type of smart TVs offer different apps and capabilities that are built in with the ability to also add additional things. For example, I purchased a new TV that had Roku built in. I must say the ease of use with that has been amazing so far. Streaming content on a TV means watching shows and movies using the internet rather than through traditional cable or satellite services. It's like having access to visit a library of entertainment where you can choose what you want to watch and watch it on your TV at any time. Unlike a DVR, which is set to digitally record, all of the content on streaming is all available on demand. Additionally, streaming services often offer closed captioning and audio descriptions for individuals who may have difficulty hearing or seeing the content, which is really helpful. Exploring different streaming platforms and finding the content that interests you the most is what we're going to discuss. It's important to note that streaming services are always changing and adding new content, so it's good to check on them regularly. You may also want to ask your friends and family for recommendations or research online to see what other people are saying about different services. Of course, you're going to want a smart TV. So make sure your TV is either capable of streaming, and it'll be labeled as a smart TV, or have internet capabilities. If you haven't been able to part with that old TV set that you've had for 10 years, you might want to check out the new options. And there are many that are very affordable. You'll definitely need to have a high-speed internet connection. You will need to have reliable internet connection to stream that content. The good news is that West Coast now offers higher speeds and no limits on data, which is fantastic because streaming does use a lot of data. Start with the streaming services first. What do you want? Like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, Hulu, Disney Plus? You'll need to sign up for one of those services in order to access the content they offer. You may already be watching Netflix, which is very popular, but I'm going to show you a lot more today. So let's go. Well, here we are now. We're going to actually look at the television and see all the really cool things that you might be able to use here. So first you're going to need your remote though. Now, if you have a TiVo or you have a device that may have a remote, but your TV also comes with a remote. So I'm going to be focusing on using your TV remote rather than any other device remotes that you might have. Many of the newer TVs have all of the apps on the screen itself. This particular one, this is a Vizio television in the studio, but you might have a Samsung, you might have a Sony, you might have Vizio, or some of the other brands that are out there that are lesser known that have similar remotes. Most of them, again, do come with some pre-designed buttons. Like this one has Netflix already on it, Prime Video, Kumo, Hulu, and Redbox. And then it also has a button on this particular remote that says Watch Free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up, and you see that the home is lit on the top of the TV, right? And you see in gray you have live TV, free, movies, shows, apps, and extra. And then there's some other things in this particular TV called AirPlay and Cast. What you want to always keep in mind as you're navigating on this screen is you want to make sure that you familiarize yourself with your remote and your home button, which in this remote's in the middle, and your input. That is the place that you can toggle between your TV content that you're getting now through broadband and your streaming services. Those are the two things. And if you're already using Netflix, you probably know that. So you see it has more input. So if you have other devices connected to your TV, any recent apps that you've used, and then the apps that you see across here, which are the typical apps. Most TVs allow you the ability to rearrange your apps so that you can actually put the first few apps become the ones that you watch the most. Now, one of the things I want to mention about apps is, of course, Netflix, Hulu, those are very common and everybody knows those. But this one has free watch. It also has Tubi, which is a free channel. Things like HBO Max, Starz, those are things that you have to subscribe to, but the apps themselves will take you right to their content, which is really handy. So I'm going to go up to live TV because I feel like people don't realize this part. And this is something I recently, I always saw that button there and I was just to never pay attention to it. So I thought, I was preparing for the show and I did this. Okay, so now that you see that this is the Vizio television's free and it says live TV, on demand, and your settings. Also another button you want to also become familiar with is the back button. I have noticed as I've been playing with all of this and learning this is that the back button is the most common to use to get back to wherever you were. So I hit the back and so this is the free content that comes with the Vizio TV. This is live TV. So you have your guide, which is very similar to other guides. And if you decide you want to watch something, you just go down through the guide and you scroll down using the button. Most remotes also have either a wheel or arrows that go up, down, back and forth. The bottom one is what I'm pressing on this one, which has the round. And let's say I want to watch the romance channel. I have a replay of CNN. I have Live Now from Fox. I have Daily Show. I have a lot of different things. I even have the Weather Nation. This is free content that comes with this television. Every smart TV now comes with this. Even TVs maybe 2 or 3 years old. I've had my Samsung probably now about 4 years, and it has free live TV as well. So without paying anything, you don't have to pay anything for this content. This is strictly coming from the app that's built into the TV, connected to your internet signal. Simple as that. So if your budget is that you don't want to have all these other apps that you have to pay subscription fees for, here's content that you can watch. So you saw the free content. Now I want to talk about these different apps. Some of these apps also offer free content. So I will show you a couple of those. So again, there's a couple of ways to get to your live free content. One is to toggle your remote till this is highlighted. Click on that. You also have down here, they have a tile. These are called tiles. So you'll see tiles. And when you're starting to do streaming, tiles are something that you're going to be using quite a bit of. Because everything is tile driven. Rather than in the old days where we hit the buttons with numbers, in streaming, everything is a tile. So I want to just go through. You see that you can watch movies, you can watch horror, reality, crime, TV shows, whatever your flavor is, you've got something here to watch. And again, most of this stuff is free. If you do see something and you hit it and it is a pay-per-view, it'll either say you have to have a subscription or it'll tell you. So you'll know right away. And obviously, if it's costing money and you don't want to spend the money, you just go to the next free one. So, okay. So Prime Video, that's connected to your Prime Video account. Apple TV, if you pay a subscription fee for Apple TV, then Apple TV, you would click there, it would bring up your account, and you would do it right from that screen. Then Disney Plus. Now, some subscription services, they connect multiple options for subscriptions. For example, Amazon Prime, you can buy HBO Max, you can buy Disney Plus, you can buy a lot of things within they're within that actual Prime. Now they do cost more money though, they're not part of your Prime membership, but sometimes it makes it easier if you are going to have multiple things to pick one main app, such as Amazon Prime, such as Hulu, such as YouTube TV, and then add your additional streaming subscriptions to that main one. And then you will just go to one tile and then your options will be there. So recently I did all of this. We cut the cord. We decided we were going to go to YouTube TV, which by the way, I'm really enjoying YouTube TV for the price and what it gets. And it was a challenge. I'm not going to tell anybody it's not a challenge to go from what you've been used to something new. But it took my husband, who's not techie, took him about 3 or 4 days to figure out how to navigate, and he was fine. And now he loves it. So don't be afraid of the change. It does take a few days or maybe even a week to navigate, but you can do it. You can do it, and you'll be so much happier. Okay, so back to this. I just want to go over this again. Tubi has free movies. Of course, they're not first-run movies and things like that. HBO Max, that does require a subscription. Right now, it's $15, about $16 a month. It just went up again. If you are paying, though, on your cable, if you're paying extra for some of these premium channels, what you might want to consider is looking at what it costs to actually do it via the app rather than within your cable package. Do whichever is less expensive for you. That makes sense, right? Another one that's not up here is Showtime. Showtime has a 30-day free trial for that app, so that's perfect. Give it a try. You've got your Vizio. We already looked at that. You've got Fubo TV. Fubo, I think, has some free things and some. Crackle, free TV and movies. The CW's here. Peacock. Peacock is off of NBC. They have some good premium content. They're not super expensive, and some other apps also include a Peacock subscription, so not extra for that. Vudu, Pluto TV, again, it's endless. So I just want you to understand that this is all available to you, and a good percentage of it is actually free. So you can watch till your heart's content. And if you like old movies, if you like replays of old TV shows like Friends and Golden Girls and mystery shows, all of that's available for you on most of these TVs built in out of the box. So in my experiment to do this, I decided to go and see what was available. I also found that you could add apps from news channels all over the country. So if you've moved here from somewhere else and you want to watch news from Cincinnati, Ohio, you can upload the app for the Cincinnati, Ohio news, whatever channel you like, ABC or whatever, and you can watch that. Now, if it's live, it'll play live. If not, it'll give you a menu, and you can watch whatever the last live broadcast was. But how cool is that you can keep connected to your home state and watch news right from there? The other things that you can add an app for CNN. You can add an app for C-SPAN. So if you are an avid news watcher, you can set all these apps up to have all your different news channels and simply use your remote to toggle through each. One of the final things I want to say about this right now is that one of the things you have to get used to is you have to get used to using the remote and understanding what all the buttons are on the remote. That's going to be your first way that will really help you to understand what these buttons do. And don't be afraid, just click around. Click around, because if you remember when I started this, what's the way back? Home or input? That will always take you back out of the app and back into this home screen, which is your safety zone, okay? So don't be afraid. take a chance, try it out, make the list of what you watch now on your current setup in your home, and then figure it out. One of the things that we've been talking about in the PC Club education is perhaps having classes on this whole thing in depth. So stay tuned for that. We're still in the process of developing it. But I didn't want to give you too much today. I just wanted to have you not be afraid to look at what you have on your TV right now and start seeing all the cool stuff. So next month, I'll do a little bit of a deeper dive into like 2 apps and actually show you what the content in those apps look like. And we'll be right back.
Hoarding is a complicated subject, but it's something that can quickly become dangerous. Stockpiling items like newspapers, clothes, receipts, or more become unmanageable amounts of clutter, which develops into health and safety risks. The clutter becomes unsanitary and often full of flammable objects. If you or someone you know might be struggling with a hoarding disorder, contact Laguna Woods Village Social Services. Help keep your community safe and healthy by disposing of unwanted, unused, and unnecessary items.
Although each TV is different and you should look at your manual, the process is similar for all newer model TVs. If you're using an external device like a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick, they will have their own option to add apps, but also similar. Adding an app to a smart TV is typically a fairly straightforward process. Here are the general steps you can follow. Turn on your smart TV and ensure it is connected to the internet. Using your TV remote, navigate to the App Store on your smart TV. This could be called the App Store, Smart Hub, or be 4 squares with little empty squares that says Apps, or something similar depending on your TV brand. Some TVs may already have them preloaded. Browse the App Store or the apps to find the app that you want to add. You can also search sometimes for the app by name or browse by category depending on the model of TV. Once you find the app, select it and then choose Install or Download or click on it to start the installation process. And then follow any additional prompts that appear on the screen, like a login. After installing the app, you should see it appear on your TV's home screen or in the app list. Select the app to open it and start using it. Depending on the app, you may have to sign in again with your name and password, but that should be only one time. It's important to note that the exact steps may vary depending on your TV brand and model and age, but the general process should be similar across most smart TVs. This is my TV in my own living room. And what I wanted to show you here was using my remote control, I brought up my sources. If I go down to the bottom, you'll see that I can search for apps. When I search for apps, it's going to come up and ask me for the title of an app. I'm going to go and ask it to use something I know I don't have. So I will go and use Fubo. I don't think I have Fubo here. You see as I type in the screen that I get some other choices. Okay, I want the Fubo. I still don't have Fubo up here, so let's see if I can get it. Let's get down to the B. Okay, Fubo TV, there it is. So now I'm going to scroll back up to Fubo. I'm going to click Fubo TV. Now I want to add Fubo TV to my screen. So I'm going to go back up there, hit enter. And now it's going to ask me, do I want to add this or add it to my home screen or open it? If I open it, I will need to go ahead and log in and create an account. That's fine. It's easy to add an account. I'm going to add it to my home screen. And now you see down at the bottom of my screen, it's there for me. So now these are all the things that are live on Fubo TV. So now I want to go back to my apps, So I'm going to scroll down, again, using my remote. The remote is the key to success, okay? I don't want to move it. I just want to leave it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my return button. Okay, return again, return. I'm going to exit out of this screen. It takes me back to my main screen, and you see along the bottom what I have. So I've got my guide, my channel list, my schedule manager, and along the bottom I have all of my, and no, I don't want to move anything. I just want to go through. These are all my apps that I've added. Some came already on my TV, but some not. I can even go to the internet from my own TV and log into one of my internet accounts. So you see back here, there's Fubo. I added it. So to reiterate, what we're going to do is we're going to go back, and I'm just showing you all the things that I get with Samsung Plus. And these are recommended apps too. So if I don't have some of these apps, it's really easy to just install the app, right? It shows me some recent things I watched if I want to do this. So if I wanted Sling, ESPN, Tubi, all those things, I simply click on the one I want. It's loading Tubi. Because that was already showing up in my menu, it automatically did it. I'm going to go next. Won't cost me a thing. Next. Get started. Now, what I can do is I can continue as a guest so I don't have to log in at all, or I can add it to my list. I can save my progress. So I'm going to just continue as a guest. And there's all the things on Tubi. Back when I want to go back to my home screen, I'm either going to hit my home button, which brings up my apps again, or the exit, which brings me back to my live TV, which is connected to our village television broadband. So there you have it. Pretty simple. Just go on your channel using your remote. Remember, got to use your remote. Here's the remote. That's very important to make this all work. All right. Hopefully that was helpful. And in order to make sure that you have access to any amount of internet data you might need, let's discuss what unlimited data actually means. Unlimited data options for the internet typically refer to plans offered by internet service providers, ISPs, that allow users to consume as much data as they want without incurring additional charges or penalties. You all know that over the past 3 years on this show, I've spoken a lot about scams, and sadly, it's getting worse, particularly for older adults. My best advice has always been just to not answer an unknown caller or just hang up. For text, it's the same thing. Never click a link in a text, and for that matter, don't click links in email either. But today I'm going to focus a little bit on the cash apps, like the app called Cash, PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle, which do make sending money easy. These apps have become popular among people of all ages, with many seniors finding them convenient alternatives to cash or checks. According to a 2023 survey by NerdWallet, 80% of Americans now use mobile payment apps, with half of them at least once a week. However, with their convenience, payment apps also bring increased risk of fraud and financial loss, something that seniors really need to be aware of. Authorities have noticed a rise in thefts involving these apps and a significant increase in fraud claims related to them. These claims actually tripled between 2020 and 2022, resulting in millions of dollars of losses. The typical scams involved unauthorized access to unlocked devices, leading to drained bank accounts and unauthorized purchases. Fraudsters may trick you into handing over your smartphone or deceive you into authorizing large transfers. In some cases, criminals have even resorted to physical violence. To help you protect yourself, authorities are recommending taking these precautions when using payment apps. This includes strengthening your login security, setting lower limits on daily transfers, adding delays for large transactions, and being cautious of any unusual activity on your account. By being vigilant and aware, you can reduce the risk of falling victim to these scams. And while consumers might eventually get protection through new security measures, there are steps you can take right now to minimize the risk of fraud or theft in mobile payment apps. Use biometric authentication. Beyond entering a passcode to unlock your phone, it's best to set up a biometric authentication step that requires the phone to confirm your identity by scanning your face or fingerprint. On an iPhone, you can enable Touch ID or Face ID, and while on Android devices, you can enable fingerprint scanning. This way, even if a thief or fraudster gets their hands on your phone, they can't unlock it and get to your payment app. You can enable additional protection for stolen devices. And if you have an iPhone with iOS 17.3 or later, you can also help prevent thieves from accessing your payment apps by enable stolen device protection. This adds a security delay that's designed to prevent a thief from performing critical operations so that you can mark your device as lost, make sure your Apple account is secure, and to use that, you'll need to first activate Face ID or Touch ID. And always pay closer attention to the app itself. Choose the strictest privacy and security settings within a payment app. Carefully review your account regularly for suspicious activity and add notification alerts for any new transaction. Make sure you're using the latest version of an app, as developers continually add new security upgrades. They have to. And if there's a payment app account that you've set up but you're not going to use again, delete it. Know exactly who you're sending your money to. Your device doesn't need to be stolen for fraud to occur. Be careful about transferring funds to any person or organization you haven't verified. Do your research on the other party, because when an unknown vendor, new friend, or supposed charity asks you to send money, they might just be running a big scam. And hold on to your phone. This should go without saying, but be extremely cautious about willingly handing your unlocked phone to a stranger, even briefly. A skilled thief can access your payment app and transfer funds to themselves in seconds. In some cases, they can pick up an RFID tag from a credit card in your pocket. Finally, know that theft or unauthorized payments can affect all aspects of your life, including your credit score and credit report, and cause you immense stress and a lot of work to try to rectify the situation. But you are still your own best security system. Make sure you're diligent. I'm not saying don't use these helpful apps, but if you must, make every effort to do it safely. You can also consider identity and privacy services that monitor your credit report and credit score, along with even more advanced tools and services designed to protect against a full range of cyber threats.
Attention Laguna Woods homeowners. Upgrade your bathroom with luxury bath designs of Orange County and enjoy up to $4,000 off or 20% savings, whichever is greater. We bring everything right to your door: fixtures, faucets, flooring, walls, and more. No hassle, no stress. Our expert team will design a space that's beautiful, comfortable, and safe. Call now or visit luxurybathdesigns.com to schedule your consultation. Luxury, comfort, and peace of mind, just one call away.
Well, that does it for another episode. I enjoy doing this show so much and appreciate you taking the time to watch it. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at talktech949@gmail.com, and that's up on your screen. And as we close the show, remember, think before you click and be kind when posting online. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next month.